For many people, George W. Bush became a hero that day. But soon, the questions started.
Based on some of the intelligence briefings you had gotten, did you not have any idea who was behind this?
I mean, we all surmised it was al-Qaeda, but before you make a decision to go find somebody, you want to make sure the intelligence is as good as it can get. And the next couple of days, we heard all kinds of chatter and celebratory talk, and so it became clear it was al-Qaeda.
Did you ever ask yourself the question, what more could I have done to prevent this from happening?
But we just didn't have any solid intelligence that gave us a warning on this. I mean,
Richard Benveniste, the static there was obviously caused by politically conspiratorial demons, but it was Richard Benveniste asking Condoleezza Rice, I want to ask you some questions about the August 6, 2001 PDB, the President's Daily Brief. He said, I ask you whether you recall the title of that President's Daily Brief. Condoleezza Rice said, I believe the title was Bin Laden Determined to Attack Inside the United States. You know, George W. Bush is still selling the same spin he tried to sell when he was president. That is less surprising than the opposite would be. If George W. Bush finally decided to say, yes, we did have substantive intelligence ahead of 9/11 that we should have heeded, and the intelligence agencies and analysts who got it right should be praised for that, and we should learn from how they got it right, and I regret that we didn't pay more attention and listen to what they said, that would be new from him, and that would therefore be big news. That would be a big change from the George W. Bush of the past. As it stands, though,
but we just didn't have any solid intelligence that gave us a warning on this.
I believe the title was Bin Laden Determined to Attack Inside the United States. As it stands, George W. Bush 2010 appears to be not at all discontinuous with the 2 terms of the Bush presidency. But there's one big question looming over the George W. Bush relaunch tour that's happening in conjunction with his new book. And that question is not about the past. It is not about the former president's same spin on his same old controversies. It's about us now as a country. When a sitting president doesn't tell you the truth, especially about national security matters, it can be hard to fact-check him in real time, because you assume the president has access to information that you as a citizen don't. But this long after 9/11, this long after President Bush's decision to invade Iraq, we do have the benefit of clear hindsight. We can say, factually, clearly, without equivocation, without spin, whether or not he is telling the truth. And in his new book, Decision Points, and in his Think Kindly of Me media tour, President Bush is still not telling the truth on the biggest issue of all, that you might think he would know we would fact check. In his new book, Mr. Bush says removing Saddam from power was the right decision. Why was it the right decision? Mr. Bush says, quote, for all the difficulties that followed, America is safer without a homicidal dictator pursuing WMD. A homicidal dictator pursuing weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein was not pursuing weapons of mass destruction. Do we really still have to go over this? As David Korn and Michael Isikoff pointed out today, authors of the book Hubris about the lead up to the war, Mr. Bush himself appointed Charles Delfer and the Iraq Study Group to study this issue once and for all and settle it. They reported 6 years ago, in 2004, that Saddam not only did not have those weapons, he did not have programs to make those weapons, he did not have anyone working on making those weapons. Saddam wasn't pursuing WMDs. And we invaded anyway. It is proven. It is empirically known. It is settled. It's in black and white. It's true. Unless you're this guy.
We cannot wait for the final proof, the smoking gun that could come in the form of a mushroom cloud.
Not everyone believed him the first time around, but enough people did that we went to war under that false pretense. We now know for a fact that that was false, and incredibly, in print, he is still trying to sell it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again.
Fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.